Refugee Crisis by Rosa Friedman. The Conversation, published November 25, 2017, 08:30 p.m. The return shall commence within 2 months, said Bangladesh in a statement issued after talks between its Foreign Minister Mahmood Ali and Myanmar's civilian leader Aung San Suu Kyi in Naypyidaw. Bangladesh Ministry of Foreign Affairs shined out at Rosa Friedman. The Conversation. Share tweet email Reddit print. Share tweet email Reddit print. Many Rohingya people who have fled the ethnic cleansing in Myanmar are now living as refugees in Bangladesh. And now, the two countries have reportedly struck a deal to return them home. Returning Rohingya people to the hands of their persecutors not only violates international law but raises fundamental questions about how the world protects those fleeing the most heinous crimes and abuses. This deal comes just days after Ratko Mladic was sentenced to life imprisonment for his role in the Srebrenica massacre, which took place in Bosnia, even as news cameras broadcast footage around the world, in much the same way as they have documented this latest crisis of ethnic cleansing. As far as Myanmar is concerned, the deal will ease the increasing pressure it faces from both the United Nations and its Asian neighbors. The Myanmar government has no interest in welcoming Rohingya refugees home with open arms. Those Rohingya who remain in Myanmar are treated as an alien people, denied citizenship and basic rights, and systematically persecuted. The Myanmar government maintains that the recent spike in violence did not amount to ethnic cleansing, that it was not state-sponsored, sanctioned or condoned, and that the Rohingya are safe to return. But those words are empty. Abundant first-hand reports and documentary footage all point to the same thing: ethnic cleansing conducted by state actors. Top UN officials have been using the term ethnic cleansing for some time, and the U.S. Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, is now using it too. Given that Myanmar is refusing to take responsibility for the atrocities, let alone to provide guarantees of protection and justice for the Rohingya, it beggars belief not just that the country is asking those refugees to return, but that Bangladesh would provide its support. Under international law, refugees who flee atrocities are afforded fundamental protections. Above all, they are protected by the principles of offering asylum and of non-refoulement, protection against return to a country where a person has reason to fear persecution. Bangladesh will of course insist that Myanmar wants these people to return, and that only those choosing to do so voluntarily will be returned. But that ignores the facts on the ground. Rohingya refugees' options are bleak: remain in the squalid camps, somehow escape into Bangladeshi society with no formal documentation or status, or return home and face persecution. Bangladesh has not acceded to the 1951 Refugee Convention or its 1967 Protocol. The country has no law to regulate the administration of refugee affairs or guarantee refugees' rights. And despite many decades of persecution and abuses in Myanmar, Bangladesh has never allowed the Rohingya to claim asylum. Those who make it to Bangladesh are placed in overcrowded camps without basic provisions, and there they remain unless they choose to return to Myanmar. The idea of voluntary return stems from a 1993 agreement between Bangladesh and Myanmar, under which those Rohingya who can prove their identity must fill in forms with the names of family members, their previous address in Myanmar, their date of birth, and a disclaimer that they are returning voluntarily. But those who do choose to return will face extortion, arbitrary taxation, and restrictions on freedom of movement. Many will be required to undertake forced labor, and some will face state-sponsored violence and extrajudicial killings. Those who remain in Bangladesh, on the other hand, face a lifetime in camps where human rights abuses are rife, with insufficient and inadequate food, water, housing or health care. Fleeing these camps leaves them undocumented and vulnerable to trafficking, exploitation and abuse. Whatever individual Rohingya people in Bangladesh might decide to do, their future is bleak. And that's not good enough. The international community has long known about the systematic persecution of this people. The international community has long ignored the atrocities perpetrated against them. And the international community has long tolerated the cover-ups and excuses from the government of Myanmar. This time it needs to be different. Bangladesh should step up and provide refuge to those who have been seeking it for 25 years. Myanmar's neighboring states and allies should help properly resettle the hundreds of thousands of undocumented Rohingya who have fled Myanmar, and Myanmar itself should be held to account for the atrocities it commits. There's no point saying never again unless action is taken. Rosa Friedman, Professor of Law, Conflict and Global Development, University of Reading. This article first appeared on The Conversation. We welcome your comments at letters@scroll.in. Rohingya Myanmar Bangladesh Rakhine conflict refugee crises. Sponsored content by published November 17, 2017 06:49 p.m. Pexels share tweet email Reddit print share tweet email Reddit print. A recent study by the Lancet Journal revealed that outdoor pollution was responsible for 6% of the total disease burden in India in 2016. As a thick smog hangs low over Delhi, leaving its residents gasping for air, the pressure is on the government to implement SOS measures to curb the issue as well as introduce long-term measures to improve the air quality of the state. Other major cities like Mumbai, Pune and Kolkata should also acknowledge the gravitas of the situation. The urgency of the air pollution crisis in the country's capital is being reflected on social media as well. A recent tweet by Virat Kohli, captain of the Indian cricket team, urged his fans to do their bit in helping the city fight pollution. Along with a tweet, Kohli shared a video in which he emphasized that curbing pollution is everyone's responsibility. Apart from advocating collective effort, Virat Kohli's tweet also urged people to use buses, metros and Ola share to help reduce the number of vehicles on the road. Delhi, we need to talk. Muj Farak Padahai Pic.Twitter.Cock 5 McBree, Virat Kohli Adam Kohli November 15, 2017. In the spirit of sharing the responsibility, ride-sharing app Ola responded with the following tweet. Aye Captain, let's do things that are in our control. If Virat's tweet reaches 5,000 RTs, we'll give free share rides once a week for the rest of the year to all new users who switch to Ola Share. What say Delhi? Care to share RT Adam Kohli make a difference? Farak Padahai https://t.com at 7BWMG93, Ola at Ola Cabs November 15, 2017. To demonstrate its commitment to fight the problem of vehicular pollution and congestion, Ola is launching Share Wednesdays for every new user who switches to Ola Share in Delhi. Their ride will be free. The offer by Ola that encourages people to share resources serves as an example of mobility solutions that can reduce the damage done by vehicular pollution. This is the fourth leg of Ola's year-long campaign, Farak Padahai, to raise awareness for congestion and pollution issues and encourage the uptake of shared mobility. In 2016, WHO disclosed 10 Indian cities that made it on the list of world's most polluted. The situation necessitates us to draw from experiences and best practices around the world to keep a check on air pollution. For instance, a system of congestion fees which drivers have to pay when entering central urban areas was introduced in Singapore, Oslo and London and has been effective in reducing vehicular pollution. The concept of high-occupancy vehicle or carpool lane, implemented extensively across the U.S., functions on the principle of moving more people in fewer cars, thereby reducing congestion. The use of public transport to reduce air pollution is another widely accepted solution resulting in fewer vehicles on the road. Many communities across the world are embracing a culture of sustainable transportation by investing in bike lanes and maintenance of public transport. Even large corporations are doing their bit to reduce vehicular pollution. For instance, as a participant of the voluntary traffic demand management project in Beijing, Lenovo encourages its employees to adopt green commuting like biking, carpooling or even working from home. 18 companies in Sao Paulo executed a pilot program aimed at reducing congestion by helping people explore options such as staggering their hours, telecommuting or carpooling. After the pilot, drive-alone rates dropped from 4,551% to 2,735%. It's the government's responsibility to ensure that the growth of a country doesn't compromise the natural environment that sustains it. However, a substantial amount of responsibility also lies on each citizen to lead an environment-friendly lifestyle. Simple lifestyle changes such as being cautious about usage of electricity, using public transport, or choosing locally sourced food can help reduce your carbon footprint, the collective impact of which is great for the environment. Ola is committed to reducing the impact of vehicular pollution on the environment by enabling and encouraging shared rides and greener mobility. They have also created flat fare zones across Delhi on Ola Share to make more environment-friendly shared rides also more pocket-friendly. To ensure a larger impact, the company also took up initiatives with city traffic police departments, colleges, corporate parks and metro rail stations. Join the fight against air pollution by using the hashtag Farak Padahai and download Ola to share your next ride. This article was provided by the Scroll marketing team on behalf of Ola and not by the Scroll editorial team.